what are some of the core principles that you learned at Disney that you still use today when you're working?
Oh, well, on Disney, when you're working, they tell you you are on stage and backstage, right? So when you are with your uniform, they call it a costume because you are a character. So that really stayed with me. I feel like I am trainer Debbie when I'm on the floor. And it's funny because Logan tells me like, "Oh, she's really cool. She's really fun and positive. She should come hang out with us more often," because that's just not me all the time. But it's just funny because I do it automatically, just like whoop, then I'm trainer Debbie. Um, and that's something that the experience of the client or the guest in Disney, like they call them, is the most important thing. You find a way to make it happen, whatever they need.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Masters in Fitness Business Podcast, where you get to stand on the shoulders of giants. And today we're bringing you two giants, one via Mexico, Debbye Roman. She is my general manager at Catalyst Personal Training, and I am Jim Adams, the owner of Catalyst Personal Training. And so we're going to talk to you today about what we've been doing to service our clients during our COVID shutdown. And Deb's going to kind of go through. She's been handling all the day-to-day stuff. She's my right hand. And then we're also going to talk about all the prep work we're doing to open on June 15th and getting ready for that. And just a little background on Deb. Deb has been with me for about 4 years. I think it took me about 6 months to call her by the right name. And I have a tremendous amount of respect and trust for Deb, which is why our relationship works so well. In addition to the fact that she's a really hard worker. She came here from Mexico and she worked at Disney. So she had a great kind of internship, if you will, at Disney as far as like customer service, being professional, and bringing a lot of those qualities to her job at Catalyst. And so Deb, I trust her completely. And she is really transitioning to become the face of Catalyst. And whenever clients, need anything, they go to Deb. Most of the time they don't go to me, which is okay by me. That's the grand plan when I open Catalyst. But Deb has exceeded my expectations, and she's been great. So welcome to the show, Deb.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So you want to give the listeners a little bit of background about did you was Disney your first job when you came to America? And could you speak English when you first came to America?
Yes, I could speak English.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
When I came to America. Let me think. Yeah, that was basically my first job, and it was in the food and beverage industry, which is crazy over there. A lot of hours, a lot of smiling and faking it till you make it, and yeah, it was rough. But it was fun, and it taught me a lot. And um, I have my degree in hospitality, so working in Disney was like the ultimate goal for me, and it happened pretty quickly. And then I was like, okay, so what the heck am I going to do next? So working in the food and beverage industry, as you probably know, you work every weekend, you work every holiday. When everybody else is on vacation, you're working your ass off, basically. So I did not want to do that forever, and I fell in love with fitness, and I decided that I wanted to make a living with it, and I did it, and I got my first client, and I was like, this is great. And then eventually got to Catalyst, and many of them follow me to Catalyst. So I taking care of the admin stuff has been something that I wasn't expecting, but it just kind of happened. And I embrace it and I like it. But at the end of the day, being on the floor with the clients, that's what I look forward to every day.
So what are some of the core principles that you learned at Disney that you still use today when you're working?
Oh, well, on Disney, when you're working, they tell you you are on stage and backstage, right? So when you are with your uniform, they call it a costume because you are a character. So that really stayed with me. I feel like I am trainer Debbie when I'm on the floor. And it's funny because Logan tells me like, "Oh, she's really cool. She's really fun and positive. She should come hang out with us more often," because that's just not me all the time. But it's just funny because I do it automatically, just like whoop, then I'm trainer Debbie. Um, and that's something that the experience of the client or the guest in Disney, like they call them, is the most important thing. You find a way to make it happen, whatever they need. You never really say no. You try to make it happen first. So, little things like that, showing up on time so you wouldn't get punished, or
And
reported
what is on,
whatever,
and just to clarify that, what does on time mean?
15 minutes before your shift, even if you're hungover. So there was a lot of partying over there. So yeah, and I didn't notice how much it shaped me because I was just right out of college. But I definitely, there's a before and after Disney Debbie that continues up to today, which I'm really proud of. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it definitely shows for sure. And then what was it about Catalyst that made you feel comfortable, like this is a place where I could stay and grow?
I like the fact that I didn't have to worry about getting my own clients. That really helps me. It helped me, and it still does, to feel more free to actually focus on the training experience with the clients. Because when you working on your own as a trainer, you have to hustle a lot. You have to put yourself on the floor. You have to go through a lot of uncomfortable situations. And I think that that actually made me a better trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do all of those things, but I do not feel the pressure of having to do that, and that makes a huge difference. I still hustle because I want to hustle, not because I have to. So it's different.
Mm-hmm.
The variety of clients, all ages and backgrounds and shapes and sizes, and the energy levels throughout the day with the 6 a.m. and the 9 a.m. It's just so different. And it just really helped me become a more rounded trainer. So
Yeah, I agree with you about the hustle, but I say it all the time because I believe it's true, and I've heard other mentors of mine say it as well. I think a lot of trainers, when they first get out of college or get their certification, they just want to be able to train clients, but they don't realize that they have to learn how to hustle. They got to learn how to attract clients, talk to clients, maintain clients, and collect from clients,
you
which
keep
is, and yeah, and keep them. So, and that is a grind. That is a hustle. That it does get uncomfortable sometimes. It does suck sometimes. It's long hours. And like Thomas Plummer says, hard work is not sexy, but you got to do it in order to get to the sexy parts. So
yeah.
I agree with you. I think that has kind of, between Disney and grinding as a trainer on your own, I think is what helped make you such the GM that you are today. So I agree with you 100%. So now let's talk about our transition into online. So it was, everybody's got their COVID story. Yours was, so what happened with Deb is, before the COVID shutdown, when we were just hearing about COVID, she had booked a trip to Paris for her birthday, and her boyfriend were going to Paris to stay with some friends. And so she was determined to go on the trip. So she went on the trip, and she got engaged on the trip. So everybody congratulate Deb for getting engaged. Her and Logan are now engaged. And but during her time over there, right in the middle of the week, actually, they announced a travel ban to Europe. So then she had to figure out a way to get back home. And then when she got back home, she had to go on a 2-week self-isolation. And then we shut down for, at the time, we thought it was going to be 2 months, 2 weeks, and it turned into 3 months. So, so it's been a long time since Deb's been in the club, but during the shutdown, we transitioned to online training, online classes, and now as we get prepared to open on the 15th, then we're doing outdoor boot camps, and then on the 15th we're going to be open for business, but we're going to continue the online and maybe even the boot camps depending on people's comfort level. So
Yeah.
you want to walk the listeners through that transition and then we'll go into your day to day.
Yeah. So at the beginning, we didn't know it was going to be that long. You know, we were expecting 2 weeks. So we were just like, okay, everybody just stay calm. We'll be back in 2 weeks. But then when that didn't happen, I just didn't want clients to feel like we were just taking their money and really not doing anything for them. And I also didn't want clients to just, because I know they would, like, stop working out and just like get depressed and, you know, all the negative stuff that comes when you don't work out. And then when we reopen, all these people like want to go hard, you know, and just with all of it, all the intensity because they're type A, and then injure themselves. Like, all of that just went through my mind, like, oh my God, we have to do something. And I was like in panic mode. So I thought, why not just do the whole thing online? And it was really awkward at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I don't think I would have been able to do this with a client that I haven't known before, because of, like, I know our clients, like sometimes I'm looking at them on the screen and I know they're doing something even though I can't physically see them. And she was like, they're like, you can't even see me. And I'm like, yeah, but I know you're doing that, you know? So it's just, I just feel like I wouldn't be comfortable training somebody who I don't know online. Or maybe I would, I don't know, but I haven't had that chance to prove myself that I could do it. But so we started with live classes with clients. We gave them a link for Zoom, and everybody would go there at the same time. And the trainer, we would actually do the workout with them, which was something that we've never really done before at the gym, which I thought it was great. Clients liked it. They love to see us struggle and sweating. And it also, you know, it does help you to feel like you're there with them, and it's up to you to keep the intensity up and the energy up, because you know literally what they're feeling right now, and you know physically you can feel it. So then we did that, and then some people are not comfortable with classes. Some people need a more personalized approach for their training. So we now offer personal training sessions online, and I could train up to 2 or 3 people at once on Zoom, or I could train one person. And it's been working great, and clients really appreciate the fact that, again, we didn't just take their money, and we got creative, and we were there for them during this whole time.
Yeah. And I really appreciate, and I talk about this all the time about building a team, and the fact that I have complete trust in Debbie and that she can get things done. And so for her to take over kind of the day to day allowed me to focus on the other things behind the scenes, like negotiating lower rent, and talking to like the credit card company, utilities, and filling out the PPP and the EIDL loans, and all of those things. It gave me the freedom to be able to focus on the bigger picture and the financial picture, ordering supplies, all of that stuff for the business, while Deb and the team helped take care of the clients, which was really, really important. And I can't say that enough. And then the funniest thing for me, a couple of stories and kind of stories that came out of that. One is we use Alloy. We use the Alloy licensing program where they come up with the programming for some of our clients, not all of them, but some of them. But it comes with this really cool app that has these videos that like you can build a program, custom program for the client in their app, and then each exercise has a little video clip for it so they can see it. So it's pretty slick. And then when we told clients, we'll build you a workout on the app, they're like, oh, cool. Did you just get this app? This is really cool. It's like, no, we've actually had it for a couple of years, but none of our clients were using it. So it's opened up another way for us to connect with our clients. In the future, we see it like if they go on vacation or if they move out of town or if they're traveling for business, then we can use that app to keep them exercising and keep them accountable on the road.
Yeah.
But I can't emphasize enough how important it is to build a team that you have complete trust in, that can take things off of your plate, and also build a team that can take things off of their plate for them as well, for everybody to, for the whole business and the whole team to operate smoothly. I think is really, really important. Deb, do
Yeah.
you have anything to share about that?
Yeah, I think that it really showed who actually cares, about like our clients and the team. And Grace and Liv have been awesome during this whole time, because just like I gave you free time to do some stuff, they gave me free time to do some stuff. So it's just like a chain that is flowing and is working, and we would have not been able to get through this without the whole team. I mean, there's no way. So I'm really happy that we have a team that I can trust, and I can ask them to do things and know that they're gonna get done. We recently started using this other app, Jim. I haven't told you. It's called Monday, just like the day Monday app. So with this app, I have Grace and Liv, and I have myself. So it's like a to-do list of projects. So if I see that Grace is taking care of like 3 things, then I can just go and give Liv whatever else that I need for the end of the week. And I could customize it in a way that it says working on it, done, or I'm stuck, and I could put a due date for them. And then that way we can communicate, we can leave each other messages on the app to make sure that the projects are being done. So it really pushed us to be creative, and they're always there for us. Like if you need anything, they're always there to help me, because I also get busy and I'm also training people. So I'm just really happy with the team that we have right now, and I'm really looking forward to our new trainers to be part of this, because I want Catalyst to be a place that people want to work at. I want them to be happy to go to work. That was another Disney thing. So I want them to feel like if you need a day off because you're struggling mentally, I want to be able to tell them, okay, and I got your back. Like we always preach this, like we got each other's back. So I think it's really important to, in times like this, so stressful and so like unpredictable, that we have that in our team.
Yeah. That is a common theme in all of our team meetings. And that's the other thing is communication. Communication is so important. It's almost better to over communicate than under communicate. So we've been having weekly team meetings, and then Deb has a meeting on her own. And it's like one of those things that when I interviewed Mike Arce on the show, he said, I want to hire people that are better than me and that can teach me things.
Yeah.
So the fact that, Deb is able to go out and do the Monday app and knock things out without my knowledge, I'm super happy about that. That means I don't have to micromanage Deb. I have complete confidence that she can find a way to get things done the way that we want it done. And so that's really, really important, is when you're thinking about hiring people, hire somebody who's better than you, or it can teach you things. Like if you need marketing help, don't put a trainer in charge of it. A trainer doesn't know anything about marketing. Hire a marketing person. You know,
Yeah.
that way they can teach you something and actually produce results that you may not be able to get with your current staff. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, the other story was, so I had an old client, former client, contact me during the shutdown, and she wanted to come back. I said, that's great. Even though Deb didn't want her back because she's, yeah, we won't go into that. But but the reason she wanted to come back was that she was really impressed with everything that we were doing for our clients during the shutdown, because a lot of gyms in town just shut down and didn't do anything. And I think we were just as busy during the shutdown as we were when we were open, right?
Yeah, this was no vacation time.
No, there was no downtime. I mean, there was a lot of work being put in by everybody on the team. So with that in mind, Deb, you want to take the listeners through like your day, like a typical day for you during COVID shutdown, just to kind of illustrate how busy we've been behind the scenes?
Sure. So I got
Like yesterday. Take us through yesterday.
yesterday I started at 6 a.m. Had a client online, like private session. Then I have another one at 7. Then I had the coffee thing, the happy hour thing that we do online with clients. Then I taught my mobility class at 9. Then we did the boot camp for the first time. At that time it was already 11, I think. I had one more private session. Then I just went through emails and things that needed to be done, social media posts, following up with clients, payments, keeping the memberships like frozen, the ones that need to stay frozen for the next couple weeks, reaching out to people just to check on them, writing programs for the next day, writing my program for the next class. And next thing I know, it was 2 p.m. So.
Yeah. And that's a pretty typical day, not only for you, but for the other trainers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's just staying busy, staying connected to clients. And let me tell you something. I think us as a team and have grown closer together through this, even though we haven't physically seen each other. I think yesterday was the first time I physically saw you in like a long time. But, and then also getting really close, a lot closer with our clients. It really has brought us closer together as a community, all the activity that we've done. Don't you think?
Yeah, I have a couple clients that I train 4 times a week at the same time, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And the things we talk about sometimes, man, it's like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to see you face to face next time I see you, because it gets kind of weird sometimes in a good way, you know? But I have definitely gotten to know people more. I love to see them around their dogs and their little humans running around, and the husbands and the spouses, and you know, their house, and they show me their house, and I see their pictures in the background and the decoration. It's just I feel like we crave it so much that we're like really paying attention to see what we can get, you know, during every session. So yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's been great. And then let's talk about transitioning to the reopening. So we've been in a holding pattern. So
yeah,
I took the podcast I did with Thomas Plummer, which has been unbelievably popular. It's been the most popular episode, downloaded and watched episode by far. But I took all of his advice to heart. So we ordered all our supplies. We put ourselves on a 2-week countdown with cleaning, sanitizing the club, getting everything that we need to be up and running. And we did this with the original open date of May 19th, which then we had to push to May 31st, or I'm sorry, June 1st, and now June 15th. So it looks like June 15th is a hard date, and we're going to treat it as such. So we've been in a holding pattern for a month, but starting on Monday, then we get busy in the club, prepping the club, because we're going to do the COVID spray. We're going to do a deep clean by the team. Then we're going to bring in a professional cleaning service to clean after that. So it's going to be like triple clean and sanitize when we open up. And then we've got to do some work to limit the contact. We're going to limit the amount of clients that come in per hour, the number of people in the building. We're going to separate our spin bikes by 10 feet or more. And then we're also putting in, we got to have the hand sanitizer. We had to order all of that. And for those of you guys that in the industry, you know how long it takes to get some of that stuff. But we got the thermometer, everything that we need. And everybody that I've been talking to in the industry, mainly Rick Mayo and Tim Lyons down in Phoenix, who are open, they said the people, when you first open, the people that come back don't care about that shit. All they want to do is they want to come in, they want to work out, they want to get their sweat on, listen to some music, talk to some people they haven't been in quarantine with for the last 3 months, and just kind of get things back to normal. That's what they've seen as the first people to come back. Now, they also said only about 40% of the client base comes back right away. So that other 60%, that's the population that you're going to have to coach back with posts on what you're doing to combat the virus, to stay within the CDC guidelines. But yet in that framework of staying safe, staying within the guidelines is normal workout, health and fitness, training, music, community, sweat, kind of shaking off some of that quarantine weight, which we've all gained, myself included. So that's been the experience of other people who have been open. So that's fully what I expect here. So with that in mind, you want to kind of cover some of the things that we have in store for our clients when we open up on the 15th?
Yeah, so our hours are going to be a little bit different, again, because we're not expecting full capacity and we're not allowed to anyway. We understand that many people are not going to be able to come back right away because of childcare, because they're still, at work. So we understand that the situation is going to be different. So the hours are going to be a little bit different. And we are going to keep the online personal training sessions for clients who cannot physically come to the gym. All of our trainers are going to still do this. So it's not only be me. So we are going to be able to offer you like even more options and times for those. And we are going to start doing boot camps and classes, which is something that our clients love, outdoors when the weather permits, because we cannot be indoors with that many people at once. So everything is going to change for the better. And I think that slowly but surely we're going to go back to a new normal, and we're going to get used to it, and we're going to be fine. So the main thing for us is that you need to know that this is a safe environment, that you're fine, that you can come to the gym. And if you don't want to come to the gym, that's on you. But our gym is going to be clean and ready for you for whenever you want to come back.
Yeah. And if you don't feel comfortable coming back, that's okay. You can stay with the online options until you do feel comfortable. But I think the other important thing that we need to discuss is what we were talking about before we started recording, is that once we open up, we are no longer going to do the live classes for several reasons. But I think the most important one is burnout. You want to cover that one?
Yeah, so the live classes, and I'll just explain real quick. So we do live classes, which means that many clients come to the session and everybody's doing the same thing. And then we have online private sessions, which is just you and your trainer, maybe another client or two, but everybody's doing different things because it's a personal training session. The large classes that we do, the trainers do the class, they do the workout. We're working out every day. it's getting a little bit exhausting mentally and physically to come up with exercises that require nothing but your body weight. And that doesn't mean that we can't give you a workout. We could keep going forever. We are creative enough to give you a million combinations of exercises. But we're going to go back to work physically, at the gym, at the regular hours, like our shifts. So that's going to be a little bit tricky for us to try to bounce between doing the class and being on the floor and doing the personal training sessions. And we want the trainers to be ready for you when you come to the gym physically. That's priority for us. So, and after talking to our team, they told me we're running a little bit out of steam, we're burnt out. And we're going to listen to our team. And this doesn't mean that we're never going to do it again. We want to see how things develop, but we can only pay attention to a couple of things at once. We don't want to try to cover everything and then just, not being able to handle it. So we're going to do this first. We're going to open the gym, still do the online personal training sessions. We have all of our classes online for you. We're going to give you a link. If you're not on Facebook, that's not an excuse. I'm going to give you a YouTube channel for you to, if you want to stay at home and do a class, you can do that. So if you want to do a high intensity class, but you want it to be live, tell your trainer that's what you want to do for your personal training session. So we're going to give you options. But yeah, we're going to switch that up a little bit, and we are going to upload the new schedule at the end of next week. So
Yeah, and I think that's such an important issue in the industry as a whole is burnout, because like we touched on at the beginning of the broadcast or the episode, is that sometimes when you're a self-employed trainer, it's a grind. I mean, you get up at 5 and you can work till 7 and 8, go to bed, eat out of your plastic, and then get up at 4 a.m. and start it all over again. And it's a grind. And so that's one of the reasons when I opened Catalyst, I had trainers work in shifts. So you work 8 hours at the most, and then you're done, because that helps eliminate burnout. So that's one of the things. And I think that pays dividends. I think, to your point, Deb, it makes it a place where people are happier to come to work because they know they're not going to have to put in those grind type hours. And two, I think it benefits the clients because they get a fresh trainer. They get a trainer who's not burnt out, who's not exhausted, and is ready to give the client their best. So I think that's really important for you owners. So that's something I think that's important for independent trainers, for trainers who own their own business, but they're their only employee. So it's an owner operator type deal. And also for owners who do very little training and have a team working underneath them. You need to take care of that team. In order to take care of that team, you got to listen to that team. So if they say that they're burning out, then you got to pay attention to that, because that's your business, right? That affects how they service clients. That affects how they view working for you, all of those things. So it's really, really important that you pay attention to them, be aware of them, and address them. Because one thing that I learned, because I was always face-to-face with clients for over 2 decades. And so to shift to more of an ownership role, then I had to realize that my trainers are my frontline troops. They're the ones that are interacting with clients every day, much more so than I am. So I need to pay attention to what they're telling me. So it needs to be a two-way communication. That flow of information needs to happen top to bottom, bottom to top, or left to right, whatever analogy you want to use, but it has to flow both ways in order for your company to experience long-time success, kind of minimize turnover, and increase your customer experience. Deb, do you agree with that?
yes, I agree 100%. And it goes back to having a good team and being able to say that out loud, mm-hmm. and know that you're going to be heard, and because if I was not comfortable telling you this, then we wouldn't say anything. and then the classes would suck, and then clients then wouldn't show up for the classes, and then it just escalates. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's great that they're able to just tell us what it is.
Yeah, it becomes like a festering infection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that becomes harder to deal with down the road. I couldn't agree with you more. So I think that's really, really important. But then another angle on that is, in order to do something really well, you have to say yes to everything that affects the outcome that you want, and say no to everything that doesn't. So that means prioritizing. So that means at times shedding something that once was really good, but now has outlived its purpose
Yeah.
because there's a higher priority issue. So, at the time, online classes, when that was our only option, were really important. But as we transition to in-person outdoor boot camps and small group personal training indoors, then that face-to-face servicing takes more time, it takes more energy. So then we have to shed the online classes so that we can keep our eye on the goal, on the mission, and not just hold on to things because we've gotten used to them or accustomed to them. Would you agree, Deb?
Yes, completely.
Okay. And I think that is all that we have for you today. We're really excited about reopening. I can't believe it's actually going to happen. It doesn't seem real because it keeps getting pushed back. And not to mention, this year is just crazy. Now that we have all this racial unrest, it's like COVID doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, so that's it. Deb, do you have anything to add? Oh, I do. We're not done yet. We got to get to my favorite part of the show.
Oh God.
I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. All right.
Um,
So my favorite part of the show is I have every guest on the show, and since you're officially a guest on the show now, is I asked them three questions, and they're not gotcha questions, but they're, I think, a place where we get some of the best pieces of gold on the show. So my first question is to you is, what has been your most successful failure? And by that, I mean, at the time, it seemed like a devastating failure that you weren't going to be able to recover from, but you were able to take life lessons from that propelled you to greater success down the road.
like professionally,
Yeah.
my greatest failure.
Or just in life.
Greatest failure was the I didn't really know that fitness was going to be my career. At some point, it felt like it was wrong that I was going to do this for a living. It's not a career that people pursue in Mexico. I wasn't using my degree, even though I do feel like I do now.
Mm-hmm.
But for a while, it felt like I guess this is what I'm gonna have to do. When I first started, especially because it was really hard because I couldn't get a client. I was really bad at sales. I was not confident. I physically didn't feel like a personal trainer, like fit. So I felt for a while that was a failure for me, but it's not.
And then what lessons did you learn from that like propelled you to greater results down the road?
It taught me how to hustle. It pushed me outside of my comfort zone, physically, mentally, economically. Um, it taught me how to work with different people from different backgrounds, to be more open-minded, to judge less. Um, yeah, it taught me a lot.
And I'm just curious, when you said you felt like you felt wrong to be in the fitness industry, was there a stigma that like a personal trainer is not a real job? Did you feel
Yeah,
any of that? Yeah.
yeah.
And what
Especially,
changed that for you?
especially because it was not like I didn't get a degree in exercise science, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a how do you say that? Like it was hard for me to accept that I could be a good trainer even without that degree, because then I realized the training was more than just knowing how the body works, and that I could learn that if I wanted to. So I did. And then, but yeah, that was part of it, because I remember my family just being like, "That you just gonna work at a gym?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna work at a gym."
And
Now
what?
I make more money than my doctor, than my brother doctor. So I'm just saying.
And so what was the turning point, and what was it, the tipping point that where you said, okay, this can be like a career for me?
When I was able to get a client for the first time after 3 months of not getting a client, because I work at the gym that I was working out, and I just couldn't close. I couldn't close for 3.5 months. And then one day I did. And then I just never stopped. Then I became the busiest trainer at the gym, and then it became something like I just needed more, you know. So I'm the kind of person that needs that little spark at the beginning, and then I can just make it a huge flame. But it's just really hard for me to get there.
Yeah.
That little spark.
Yep. Absolutely. I get it. And okay, so my next question is, in your time in the fitness industry, what has been the biggest surprise that you've had to deal with
Oh,
that you did not see coming?
I wasn't ready for this, Jen. What was my biggest surprise
Uh-huh.
in the
That
fitness?
you've had to deal with in the fitness industry that you did not anticipate?
I don't know, because I was so naive when I entered it, so I had no expectations on how it was going to be. But I guess, I mean, and I don't want it to sound like a cliche, but like being a female trainer, I felt like it was harder to be seen as a real trainer,
Huh.
because oh, you're so cute. Oh, I like, I hate that. So it was just, it was harder than I thought it was going to be to make it a career, because
As a
coming from
female.
as a female, because coming from a hospitality background, it's so easy to do that when you're a female, to be in front of the customer and be nice and be polite. But like when you're at the gym, sometimes you have to be more, not aggressive, but you have to have some sort of personality to be a trainer. um you have to be pushy, you have to show your intention, you have to.
Kind of be an alpha.
Right. So I was not ready for that. But,
Yeah. And so that's interesting. I want to talk more about that. So when you say it was harder to establish yourself as a credible trainer as a female, was that because of other trainers, male trainers, female trainers, clients, male trainers, male clients, female clients?
um, male trainers mainly, because I've never lifted before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had, and all of these guys, they had been working out since they were in high school. And at some point, for a long time, I was the only female trainer at Catalyst and before Catalyst at the other gym. So it was just like I just felt like I have no chance of succeeding, And there were other trainers who had been there longer than me, who had all of these clients and successful stories. And oh, my client can squat 200, 15 pounds, and I'm like, I can't even do that. How am I going to teach somebody to do that? So yeah.
Okay, interesting. And do you feel like that's changed at all in the industry?
In the industry, no, maybe a little bit. I don't know, because I don't even pay attention to it anymore. I don't know what it would be like to start right now.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And then my last question, and I'm really excited to hear this because I know you do a lot of this, but where do you go for your personal and professional development?
Where do I go? Like,
Yeah, what do you do for your personal and professional development?
so I actually have this habit tracker that Logan makes fun of me of because I track things every day. One of them is learning a new word every day in English, so it's pretty cute. And the other thing is studying anything related to fitness or nutrition. And I like Mark Ripto a lot, so I go to his website a lot. Anything related to the International Institute of Functional Nutrition, their articles or news. They have a lot of COVID-19 stuff, which I think is really interesting to see how they're treating people. Functional nutrition doctors. Um, I just go to the websites of the American Council of Exercise and I see what certifications they have or like webinars and things like that. Just anything, because there's so many things, strength, power, endurance, mobility, anything that I can learn, even if it's just a little bit, like it makes me go like, huh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then what about personal development? I know you're a big fan of the Tony Robbins podcast and meditation.
I read every night and I try not to read things fitness related. I like to read a lot of autobiographies, and not like not like personal growth books, but like more like, how would I say, what would that be?
Inspirational autobiographies.
Yeah, like sociology, is that a thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Psychology, but not really as a subject, but like this is what humans are doing. Like the last book I read is called Everything is Fucked. It's a book about hope. That's the title. So I was really interested. That was really interesting. So anything that's not fitness related, because I try to keep my mind fresh at night.
Okay. And then what's your meditation practice?
Every morning I wake up and I get my eyes masked. And Logan said that I looked like a Teletubby. And then one of our clients said that it looked like I had 2 donuts on my face. But anyway, I do that and I just meditate for 10 minutes and I just try to stay centered and focused throughout the day. I try to put intention to the day because I don't want to be a mess. I don't want to just bounce from one thing to the other. I want to have some sort of feeling of control and order, and it doesn't always happen, but 8 out of 10 times it does. So I don't think I could not do it anymore. It's become something that I just do.
Okay. All right. Well, Deb, I know you're busy. So thanks for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. And
I didn't know this was going to happen, by the way. Everybody.
Yeah, that's always the best way.
That was kind of rude, but
No,
okay.
we get the real, authentic Deb, not the canned
or something. But yes, thank you. That was fun.
Yeah. And then all the links, if you want to get in touch with Deb or contact Deb, all the links will be in the show notes. And so just go to trainergym.net, click on this episode, and all the links to contact Deb. If you have any questions, want to reach out to her, all those types of things, you can do that through the podcast. So Deb, thanks again. And I'll drop all that stuff at the club tomorrow, the Bluetooth speaker and the cones, all that stuff, because I got the 6 a.m. boot camp tomorrow.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Deb. Have a good day.
You too. You're still recording.
Oh, I know. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.